The twin suns of Verith Prime cast long shadows across the crystalline desert as Lady Kira lay broken against the obsidian rocks. Her violet blood seeped into the sand, turning it dark beneath her crumpled form. The marriage proposal she had rejected 3 days prior had sealed her fate among her own people, the noble houses of the Vellani Empire. They valued political alliances above all else, and her refusal to wed Lord Thane of House Mordax had been seen as the ultimate betrayal. She had been stripped of her titles, her family name, and left in the wastes to die. The Vellani were a proud species, tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like opals under sunlight. Their culture demanded absolute obedience to the social contract, and Kira had shattered that contract when she chose her own path. Now she paid the price. Her breathing came in shallow gasps. The wounds from the punishment beating had been expertly administered to cause maximum suffering without granting the mercy of a quick death. 3 broken ribs pressed against her lungs. Her left arm hung at an unnatural angle. But worse than the physical pain was the knowledge that no one would come. No one from her world cared if she lived or died anymore. The sound of boots crunching on crystal sand made her force one eye open. Through the haze of pain, she saw a figure approaching. Not Vellani, that much was clear. This being moved differently, with a purposeful stride that spoke of military training. As the figure drew closer, she recognized the species from intelligence briefings she had read during her time in the diplomatic corps. A human. Humans were relatively new to the galactic stage, having only achieved faster-than-light travel some 50 years prior. They were considered primitive by most elder species, their technology crude and their lifespans laughably short. The Vellani Empire had barely acknowledged their existence, viewing them as little more than ambitious children playing with toys. They did not fully understand. The human male knelt beside her, and Kira got her first clear look at his face. He appeared to be in his early 30s by human standards, with dark hair cropped short and eyes the color of Earth's seas, a pale blue-green that seemed to assess everything at once. His face was weathered, marked by small scars that suggested a life of combat. He wore the practical armor of a human soldier, nothing fancy or ceremonial, just functional plates designed to keep him alive. "Easy now," he said in trade standard, his accent marking him as someone who had spent considerable time among aliens. "I am Marcus of the Terran Expeditionary Corps. Can you understand me?" Kira managed a slight nod. Speaking felt like swallowing broken glass, so she remained silent. Marcus ran a scanner over her body, his expression growing grimmer as the readings came through. "Multiple fractures, internal bleeding, severe dehydration," he muttered. "Who did this to you?" She tried to speak, managed only a whisper. "My people?" Something flickered in his eyes. Not pity, which she would have hated, but anger. Cold, controlled anger that promised consequences. "Your own people left you here to die?" Another nod. The movement sent fresh waves of agony through her torso. Marcus looked around the barren landscape, then back at her. She saw him making a calculation, weighing options. His mission, whatever it was, likely did not include rescuing dying aliens from the desert. The smart move would be to call for medical evacuation and continue with his original objective. That was what any rational being would do. Instead, he set down his rifle and carefully slipped his arms beneath her. "This is going to hurt," he warned. He was right. As he lifted her, every nerve in her body screamed in protest. Kira bit down hard enough to taste her own blood, refusing to cry out. She would not show weakness, not even now. Marcus carried her as though she weighed nothing, though Vellani were slightly denser than humans, due to their higher gravity homeworld. He moved with steady purpose back the way he had come, adjusting his grip occasionally to minimize her discomfort. Through the fog of pain, Kira felt something she had not experienced in days. Safety. Why? She managed to gasp out as he walked. Why what? Marcus kept his eyes forward, scanning for threats. Why help me? You gain nothing. He was quiet for several steps. Where I come from, we have a saying. It does not matter who someone is or where they come from. What matters is whether they need help and whether you can give it. Everything else is just noise. Foolish, Kira whispered, though she felt tears forming at the corners of her eyes. You risk yourself for nothing. Not nothing. Marcus glanced down at her. For a person, that is never nothing. His words struck something deep in her core. In Vellani society, individuals were valued only by their contribution to the collective, by their bloodlines and political connections. The concept that a single person could have intrinsic worth simply by existing was alien to everything she had been taught. Yet this human spoke the words with such conviction that she almost believed them. Marcus brought her to a small human shuttle tucked between two massive crystal formations. Inside, he laid her carefully on a medical bed and activated the diagnostic systems. The shuttle's medical computer was basic by galactic standards, but it could stabilize trauma patients. I am not a doctor, Marcus said as he programmed the medical bay, but I have enough field medic training to keep you alive until we reach the human embassy on Station Kepler. They have a full hospital there. The embassy will contact my people, Kira said, fear creeping into her voice. They will finish what they started. Marcus looked at her directly. No one is going to touch you. You are under human protection now. We have a policy about that sort of thing. Humans have no authority over Vellani citizens. Maybe not. He activated the medical bed, which began flooding her system with nanite repair bots and pain suppressors. But you can request asylum. Once you do that, you are no longer a Vellani citizen. You become a protected person under Terran law. Let them try to take you then. Kira stared at him, searching for deception or ulterior motive. She found none. This human genuinely intended to protect her, a stranger from a species that had barely acknowledged his own existence. It made no logical sense. The medical nanites were already doing their work. The screaming agony in her ribs dulled to a manageable ache. Her breathing came easier. With the immediate crisis of death receding, Kira allowed herself to truly look at her rescuer. Marcus worked with efficient precision, checking readouts and adjusting the medical bed settings. There was competence in every movement, the mark of someone who had done this many times before. You have saved others like this, she said. It was not a question. Part of the job. He did not elaborate. What is your mission here? What brought you to the wastes? Marcus hesitated, then seemed to decide honesty was easier than evasion. Reconnaissance. We are mapping potential colony sites for human expansion. Verith Prime is on the list, though I suspect the Vellani Empire would object. They would claim you were invading their territory. Technically, this planet is unclaimed. The Vellani have settlements on the northern continent, but they have not filed proper territorial claims with the Galactic Council. We checked. Despite everything, Kira felt a ghost of a smile. You are very thorough. We learned early on that the galaxy does not give second chances to species that fail to read the fine print. The shuttle's engines hummed to life. Marcus moved to the pilot seat and began pre-flight checks. We will be at Kepler Station in 4 hours. Try to rest. The nanites work better if you are not conscious. Kira closed her eyes, but sleep felt impossible. Her entire world had collapsed in the span of days. Everything she had known, everyone she had trusted, had abandoned her. Only this stranger, this human she had never met, had shown her kindness when she needed it most. Marcus, she said softly. Yeah? Thank you. He glanced back at her, and for the first time she saw him smile. It transformed his weathered face, made him look younger. Thank me when you are healed. we still have to navigate the asylum paperwork. Bureaucracy is the real enemy. As the shuttle lifted off and Verith Prime fell away beneath them, Kira realized something fundamental had shifted inside her. She had been raised to believe that strength came from rigid social structures, from knowing one's place and accepting one's fate. But Marcus had shown her a different kind of strength. The strength to help someone simply because it was right. The strength to stand against injustice, even when there was no personal gain. The humans, she realized, might be newer to the galactic stage. Their technology might be less refined. Their ships might be slower. But they possessed something many older species have lost in their millennia of civilization. They still remembered what it meant to be decent. As the medical nanits pulled her toward healing sleep, Kira made a silent promise to herself. She would survive this. She would heal. And she would make sure the galaxy learned what she had discovered today. That humanity's greatest strength was not their weapons or their ships. It was their unwavering belief that every life had value. And that sometimes the most revolutionary act was simply refusing to leave someone behind. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting us with super thanks. Your support helps us create more great content. Thank you.